Can't believe we're seeing these two teams in the lower bracket. An elimination match already. LGD versus Virtus.pro. VP, of course, the team that has dominated DPC systems, but has always fallen a bit short when it comes to TI. And LGD, our TI finalists previously, have had a little bit rougher time this season, and we saw it. Their loss to Vici Gaming in the groups, their loss to Secret as well. It looks like LGD just isn't quite up there at the top, tippy-top blitz, but they are still a very strong team, and I expect this match to be rather explosive.
Yeah, especially because of the way that their core matchups go. I think we have some of the best 1 and 2 positions in the game right now. I think that Ramses and No One pack like some of the strongest punches. They're dynamic. They're playmakers. They're not they're not your active they're not your passive. I'm gonna farm for 50 minutes and do nothing. Especially Ramses as a team. That's just how VP likes to play. Even with this Spectre, I fully expect them to play around his ulti repeatedly.
Throwing out the dagger. Roger's going to join him here, but so is X-Nova. And that Inkswell is going to be tough to beat, especially with a Burrow Strike. That's why VP are not even going to try for it. So LGD going to be able to get 3 bounty runes at the start of the game.
Yeah, and I think it's because they think that Sven will be fine in the early levels against this Brewmaster, if not outright win. So it seems like for the time being, they're like, well, we don't really need to rotate our supports too hard. I imagine the Grimstroke does eventually TP down here.
Yeah. Like maybe he sticks up, but it would just purely be for like a first blood attempt or something.
Yeah,
and that may be exactly what we're going to see here is, no, I'm not going to go for him. The Mistcoil is going to help keep Roger healthy as he battles it out with FY. They're just keeping a full aggro tri-lane. Most of the time we see like these Darkseers just do a dual lane and cut, but not here.
I do think it's much more important for VP to win their lanes with the way that their heroes are set up, because I think they have this really strong mid-game timing that they want to hit. And FY getting really low. That range on Burrow Strike isn't long.
Roger is going to be able to keep pace here. They do manage to cancel the healing salve, and that'll be Solo picking up the first blood.
He has to be more careful than that. Everybody always forgets how bad Burrow Strike level 1 is as an escape ability. You barely go forward, because there's the moment where you stop as well, right? You have to take the time. It's like you didn't really move anywhere.
And these are also probably 2 of the best level 1 nukes in the game. Mistcoil as well as Ether Shock.
And we see Chalice. I don't think that he can stand in this tri-lane normally, and he's trying to hit his level 2 so that he's okay. Just going to go for the TP out, double stack the wave. Very smart of him. And
this
actually,
long TP.
I think they should have. They could have committed for that.
I think maybe they could have, yeah.
Solo had mana. 1 more Mistcoil and 2 right clicks is a kill.
They're going to pull the hard camp as well here.
I don't think they anticipated how long that TP was going to be.
Oh, certainly not.
And we do see X-Nova after the kill come down here, which is what we expected. He definitely doesn't want to just sit at top lane. I think VP has shown that they're going to go for the tri-lane because they figure they have to win the lanes.
Roger's also got to be careful here. Does manage to get away from the Ion Shell.
Force, double damage.
They seem pretty loath to try and get any sort of kill out of this Burrow Strike Ion Shell combo, and perhaps that's just because Abaddon's Mistcoil is just that strong.
Yeah, and I will say this is a very interesting matchup in mid lane because of the skill of both mid laners, but also because Storm really struggles, I think, against Dusa. I mean, Dusa just feels fantastic against all int cores mid.
Yeah.
Because of the way that when you take away mana from an int hero, you just kind of feel bad. You can't really play as aggressive, and Storm is probably the hero that relies on mana the most to CS with. Against heroes with better base damage or better attack animations, which pretty much like narrows the pool to everybody.
Still trying to pull the creeps over to this hard camp here. Burrow Strike on through. FY does manage to skewer the bigger creep, but now I think he's just dead for it. Maybe he can go for that other small one, but he'll die pretty quickly to Roger. So FY, another mistake by him is I'm pretty sure there's no way that one hard camp creep was worth it. Now, Child's going to be taking a lot of damage on his way out to the dagger. Won't finish him off here, but it is definitely close. Now, Solo actually gets a little bit too close.
They're still chasing for it.
And Roger is really gunning for it. He does have another round of level 1 Ether Shock up. Chalice is popped the surge, trying to get away. A full healing salve out. Now Roger has actually gotten himself into a bit of a hole. Good silence out. Inkswell follow up. This is a classic Grimstroke combo. Any sort of stun plus Inkswell is going to look good. And sure enough, Solo, who took so much damage from the tower earlier, will just deny himself and reset.
Good timing on this kill, too, because he's going to miss out on a lot of experience. I think he missed out on like 3 creeps there, which as an offlaner, it sucks to die under the tower just because you know that you've actively hurt for it even more. But still getting levels, and I think that's okay for the Brew. I think VP realizes that even moving Roger down towards that bottom lane as the fellow 4-position players just kind of exchange greetings in the middle of the game. And mid lane is staunchly in favor of this Storm, by the way.
Yeah, so this is not supposed to go this way?
I don't think
the
it's...
Mystic Snake?
I think it should be fine for both, but I don't think it should go this strongly for the Storm.
Yeah.
Like, Storm's already up to 27 and 10, which if I'm the Dusa, you always have the option of being able to nuke into the wave because Storm is more or less a melee hero.
Right. Burrow strike out, Sandstorm's available as well, but there is the Aphotic Shield and Mist Coils if necessary. So
no, FI shouldn't go for this again.
They are going to be able to get the Inkswell on top of Solo, give him the silence towards the end there, see if they can actually stop him from denying it, unable to do so, but he wasn't able to get off the Mist Coil, and that's the important part.
The turn rate on the Abaddon hurt him there real bad. Everybody from LGD was facing to the left, he was facing to his right, so when he did eventually kill the Phantom's Embrace, he had to manually turn all the way around.
Another 3 bounty runes for LGD. You could see they've gotten 1,150 gold.
Wait, why does it say 6-1? Are we missing one then?
That is a good question. Did somebody deny one?
We see 3 go on the side of LGD and 1 was missing. I saw illusions from a hero, so maybe somebody denied.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that's what happened.
That's got to be the case. Oh, Roger's going to make the rotation over here to the Sven, but that Warcry shield is going to do a lot to slow down the damage coming out from Pasha. Ame actually turning around there. Meanwhile, the top lane, Spectre's barely able to TP away. Really great play, though, reading that the Inkswell, as soon as that Inkswell goes down, you can TP out. It just will not explode fast enough. So he goes over. I thought he went over to the Shrine, but maybe they already used it, so he's just going to come back with the Mist Coil health that's being given to him.
He TP'd to the Shrine?
Yeah.
They used it earlier, him and Roger.
Oh, okay.
I like that, though. I hate when safe laners just, like, panic TP straight back to base.
Yeah.
Especially when they know they're going to be healthy enough to come back in the lane. Like, Ramsey's probably got an additional 4 or 5 CS out of this. As a result, is Roger setting up.
Trying to go for no one here because no one does have a double damage in his bottle, but there is going to be the TP in from the Sand King, but it's such a long TP because X-Nova also jumped in. They do manage to get the Burrow Strike. The follow-up silence is going to come out from X-Nova now, but the double damage doing so much work that FY does end up falling here. Even kills the
No one's going to go for this.
30.
No one's going to go for this.
Of course, Roger's going to get the shackles if he can. No one will get the double kill, and he'll get out too. Putting a lot of pressure on this Tier 1 tower too because the Siege Wagon is coming in. This is just a great setup for VP.
Oh, you knew that was coming in. The Dusa was so cocky, but he still had 2 bottle charges and he has a DD. Any Storm player worth anything is going to go for that play.
Yeah.
Like, you all in for that because at some point you just can't kill the Dusa as a Storm. As we see here, still has 2 bottle charges and a Clarity.
I think one of the big problems is X-Nova can only cast 2 of his 3 spells. And they're all level 1, obviously, so none of them really do any good damage. If he had been able to get maybe the Inkswell as well, with that extra bit of damage and stun, maybe it would have been a better go on the Storm Spirit, but as it was.
Also, Sand King has terrible armor, right?
Yeah.
Especially early levels. Like, that's why he struggled so hard in this top lane against the Shaman, who's got fantastic base damage. He just can't fight up against that hero, even with Ion Shell. That's the annoying part. It's sort of like the Clockwork conundrum that you have. But Sand King eventually makes up for it because he has Sandstorm, and he has his own escape mechanism. But when you go offensive like that and you're only like level 3, Storm's going to kill you just through right clicks like we saw.
Shackles.
He wants no one to commit.
Jump in from no one. No one is definitely going to commit here. Make sure he kills X-Nova. Oh, they managed to get the stun first, but still. 2-5 now. VP continuing their killing spree now for no one. And the Spectre is getting a good amount of farm top lane. Of course, our Sven hasn't really come into action yet, and it looks like he's going to soon, as Ame is rotating into this offlane jungle. Not sure where he's headed, though.
As they're going to go on top momentarily, but Ramses should be perfectly fine. There's something I want to point out about Storm. I mean, he was the second pick Storm, so this is supposed to be the hero that I think should be most counterable. And PSG.LGD's response was the Grimstroke, right? Because of the Phantom's Embrace. But I think the Grimstroke's only effective when you have burst damage, so that you can kill the Storm. Because Storm's naturally going to build for attack speed, as they are going to make the goal on Ramses.
This is the rotation that we needed from
He's
Ame,
tanky,
but
though.
unfortunately Ramses is so tanky thanks to that Soul Ring build. Now he's going to pop out his ultimate. No one's going to make the long jump thanks to that vision. Everyone's still decently healthy. They are going to try and go onto this vent here, but he does have the Inkswell on him. Explodes on top of both Solo and the Storm Spirit, boosted up by the Surge, and no one doesn't have enough mana to be able to catch anybody there. Meanwhile, FY being chased by Roger right now, but he does have the Medusa somewhere nearby and should be fine. A lot of pressure on that mid tower coming out from the Medusa during that entire time.
I think the way that LGD have to win this game is for it to go later. Like, I think these mid-game fights will not favor them because of the reasons mentioned. Like, you see the Storm get silenced up, but it doesn't actually kill him. Storm will eventually get the HP talents for the extra 400, I think, this game. Then you're suddenly having to burst down a Storm from 1600 health with a wand and bottle charges. That's not easy. And Sven and Dusa don't really burst without having items. Like the Sven, once he gets 4 items and a Daedalus, yeah, he's going to be fine. He's going to 2-shot the Storm with that. But Storm even has decent armor. So I think that PSG.LGD thought that this silence was going to be enough. But I don't actually think that it bothers him that badly.
3 bounty runes for VP. You know, the panel brought up the really cool interaction of the Soulpine plus Mystic Snake against Storm Spirit. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's interesting, but I still hold to my reasoning that the way that this game goes is there's always 2 ways to deal with Storm. Either you draft overwhelming amounts of stun and burst, or you just make it so that everyone's unkillable. And PSG.LGD's lineup is actually quite good at that. Darkseer, Medusa, and Sven with items are very hard to kill, and you can just create this wall where you all run together and you never let him assail the backline. That's how really good teams deal with Storm. You just protect your 2 supports by having them move as a group. And as long as the enemy team doesn't have any crazy AoE that you're worried about, you're fine. There's no Sand King and Darkseer on the other team. You don't have to worry about this big epicenter vacuum coming in with the wall over the top. So I think it's easy for PSG.LGD to just group up as a unit, move down 5 into lanes, and feel really comfortable with that, and then use the Sand King as counter initiation. So you move together as 4, Sand King's hiding in the back line. When you get jumped on, Sand King pops his ulti. And that's the way their lineup is theoretically supposed to look. Whereas Virtus.pro should just take fights all the time.
VP is sure enough. They are going to be able to take a fight right here. Get the pick off on FY. Is going to get stunned up here. Maybe they can't actually chain the stuns. The silence going to last a while. No one. He could have gotten away from that, but now Roger's going to die as well. A little bit of hubris, perhaps, as no one held on to his mana there and pays the ultimate price.
And this is where the Dusa just, even though you killed her early on, she farms.
Yeah.
She's fine. Like, every Dusa player knows that whatever your laning phase, as long as it breaks like 60-40, you're going to hit up the triangle of farm, you're going to hit Ancients, you'll have more levels in your split shot. You just naturally will out-farm every other mid laner. Aside from like maybe Dro, who has her own way of hitting Ancients.
Right.
And this is exactly what PSG.LGD wants to do. They want to move as a unit, get their 3 cores farmed, then become this like impassable wall. So the Storm Spirit doesn't feel comfortable going in. And then you use the Grimstroke's Phantom's Embrace and the Sand King's stun as these counter initiation tools.
Yeah. They do manage to trade out towers here. Feels like a lot of what you're talking about. Pasha is going to be particularly important both for the team fight aspect and even just reducing the tankiness of LGD. Going to need that Dispel against the Warcry, and that's part of the reason we saw it picked up. Ramses not going to be hit by the Stroke of Fate, so he'll be pretty easily fine here. He got out of the top lane initially because of that big push, but now he returns to farm up. VP, with their push onto bottom lane, they're going to rotate into mid and see if they can take that tower with the Serpent Wards. And the positioning there of Roger into the back line. Ame finds Solo. Solo, who's not level 6 yet, has to be a bit careful with his positioning. He's going to play pretty far back. Does not want to be gone on first. This tower taking a lot of damage, but it looks like it will survive. As VP not going to fully commit here. FY is going to be able to find Roger as he dips into the high ground here, hoping to be able to body block him long enough for Ame to be able to get the stun. And now Roger realizes that he's probably just dead. Solo realized it too, so see you later, buddy. Can't save you here. So it's going to be 5-6 eventually.
They're gonna get him.
But he's gonna get the kill. Hey, Roger's buying a lot of time. This is worth it.
Yeah, his Spectre's gonna push out the lane, farm some jungle, but nice nab by PSG.LGD. I think Storm in this game though is very strong during this timing, and that's why VP wanted to take fights like crazy.
Yeah.
Because every Storm player knows like at some point the Deuce is gonna become too fat to fight into.
And that's where that slip up of no one is so costly, right? Like
Yeah.
this is their core timing that they really
Yes.
need to establish dominance on the map, and him dying and just being out of the game for 30 seconds slows down that momentum.
I think they're thinking though that the Spectre will be the best hero when it comes to like the ultra late.
Yeah.
So I actually think that both lineups are quite even. If you think about like the strengths and weaknesses, there are like ways to shore up both sides. Like for PSG.LGD, although right now, like in the mid game or like the first like 10 minutes of the game, it was annoying to deal with the Storm. Like as the game progresses, things get better. But it also sucks playing both supports because you want to play the Sand King as this counter initiator, but Spectre will always find him with the Haunt.
Yeah.
Like both lineups have done a very good job of like countering each other. There's no obvious advantage one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, Grimstroke is just going to be food at some point in this game. Against the Storm Spirit, against the Spectre, both those heroes being able to get on top of you. But if PSG.LGD can start the fight, get that really cool Soulbind interaction with the Mystic Snake, with the double silence, with the double stun coming out from the Sven. A lot of good things can happen. They are going to be able to find Ramses here, but Ramses pops his ultimate until he's silenced, so he can't actually jump to any of his spirits, so he'll just be run down by LGD. They're trying to go on this Medusa right now, but she's so tanky. I can't even believe Pasha's going to try and go for the Primal Split. Looks like he's just going to go for a disengage, but his main Earth Panda was turned to stone, so he's a little bit slow to get it out of here. And that's why LGD are kind of chasing him for now. He's going to return back to his regular form, but he's a bit too close to the tier 2 now. Darkseer gets thrown up in the air, but LGD just playing as that ball that you were talking about.
Yeah, you got to learn how to like connect to each other really quickly. LGD, I think, is really good at that. The speed at which they kill the Spectre and the Deuce is already running over. That's why she got caught out right there, is because she was on the way to connect to make sure that there are no holes in your defense.
Yeah.
You have to set up this moving wall to make your team feel very comfortable. And for VP, it's the opposite. They want to split you up. They want to try to move the map around so that they can set up with the Spectre Haunt. The way the ideal fight goes is they catch one hero farming, Spectre haunts in, they get a quick pick off. Spectre's Haunt also confirms if there's a smoke or anybody behind, so that you can make the read on where to go. And then the Storm has a very free game. Like, I love the Storm Spectre combo because, you know, you just give each other information.
And this information being given to Roger that he needs to get the hell out of here as Ame was rotating around to go for the pickoff. And
drops
it looks
the wards so nobody can get close. FY had already committed the stun.
You gonna farm up the wards at least? That's free gold.
Come on, man.
Yo, where's my Sven?
That's like
Ame's got other business to do. He wants to go and take this tower.
That's like 8 CS though.
Yeah.
That's how you know that this guy, you know, he's not your typical pub player.
He's turning into, like, I feel like the Ame that I've seen so many years in the past would have definitely farmed up those wards, but of late, Ame's become such an objective gamer.
Yeah.
He just goes at these towers.
He realizes the timing of hitting this tower is more important. And look at this. Their unit. Become a unit. Just move as a wall. Have FY sit in the back to be the counter initiation tool to save his Grimstroke, but just have your two tanky cores run forward like this. And if you're VP, you can't just let this go unchecked. I feel like you, even if you don't want to take a fight, you sort of have to like hold the line somewhere.
Yeah, you have to at least hold this tower.
Yes.
Can't actively take a fight because no Spectral, no Primal Split either.
That's one of those uncomfortable situations where you have to gamble, and they correctly gambled right there. They're like, guys, we just have to show up near bottom. We don't have Haunt, and it might not look like the best fight, but we at least have to show strength in numbers. We can't just let them march down lanes, because, I mean, if you give good teams an inch, they'll take a mile. You let them take that tier 2, all of a sudden PSG.LGD saying, oh, they have the same read of the game. They don't want to defend any of their tier 2s. Let's take everything. And gold leads like that snowball, but PSG.LGD, they're still formed up. They're going to be this unit. They're going to drop
Oh dear.
the stun.
That is an illusion.
Come on,
gentlemen.
guys.
That is why your smoke is not popped. It's going to pop on Solo now as he drifts a little far forward, daring LGD to go on him because he does have the borrowed time.
I really like how VP, though, as a response, I love that they did decide to defend that bottom tier 2 by just showing up. Sometimes that's all it takes to deter people.
Yeah.
Is you show up with multiple heroes, you show 4 heroes on the map, And for PSG.LGD, it's likely you win that fight, but do you really want to risk fighting under the tower like that? People have buybacks. You have Haunt. Like, you're introducing a lot of X factors by fighting under towers like that.
Especially against the Storm Spirit with buyback, and like if you lose that fight, all of a sudden the Spectre is able to get Diffusal Manta, then your Medusa's game becomes a lot harder. He can't play. Like, he's been playing, you know, he'll be near his team, but in the general area because he knows he's tanky enough to survive. Primal Split not going to go off. Immediately gets silenced. FY is going to be able to get two-man Burrow Strike. This is looking bad until maybe no one comes in. They do manage to get the Soul Bind out. Chalice surges away, trying to run away from no one, who still has plenty of mana. The dagger is going to catch him, and the final shot from no one will bring him down. FY spotted inside of his Sandstorm. Burrow strikes up to the high ground. A Sven stun comes out as well. No one is very low on mana, but the Sven gets tossed up in the air. He's getting kited around now. No one will come back to earth here and pull Ame back into the shrine area. VP's going to fight around as best as possible. 3 dead from LGD. And will they pursue on the side of VP, or will they call it just happy with the win as is a 1-for-3 exchange? They will not get greedy here. They are very content with the way that fight went.
Fantastic engage. And it looked like it was going to be all PSG.LGD because they were able to trap out the Brewmaster before he got anything off. But what really hurt them there was they needed their 2 cores in the front line. They weren't the wall. They need their Dusa and their Sven there much earlier. They just responded too late.
If the Sven is there and they burst the
it's done.
Like, it's over.
If he throws down a Stormbolt into those 2 heroes with the Grim Soulbind, the fight is unwinnable for VP. But VP, I love the decisiveness. They're like, this is our opportunity. It's 3 heroes. Even if the fight looks initially bad, we still have to go for it. And it's these maneuvers where I think a lot of lesser teams would take a second to think about it, and the opportunity window would be missed.
Yeah.
They realize, like, even with 4, VP's like, we're not fighting into that Deuce Sven. We just don't have enough. But as long as we can kill everybody else, remove the disables from the team fight, maybe we can win it. And that's how you have to do it. You have to do guerrilla warfare. Snipe at these heroes that act as your disables. Then you'll eventually get to a point where you can 2v4 kite once your Rasta has things like Aether Lens.
A Blink Dagger's coming up soon for FY. Obviously, he got a great initiation into that fight. But maybe it'll make a difference for LGD as we move forward. They are still up by 2,000 net worth right now. And that Medusa is very far ahead of anybody else. 11,000 net worth for him, where you've got the Storm and Spectre just about to get over that 10K marker. Another smoke up, perhaps? Yeah.
I think this might be their last one. We just saw them back-to-back smoke, so this is going to be a pretty important one for them. They feel like the timing of the Dusa is so strong, and this time they're thinking they can take this fight. They're going to run into each other.
Pasha needs to be able to get out the Primal Split. They can't afford to get these chain disabled. The Silence is coming out, and it looks like VP is starting to retreat. The Silence stays on top of the Soulbind. He gets it back to no one. No one is locked down, but the Primal Split does successfully go off. Sven getting kited around. He is going to be able to dispel that Warcry, making him much squishier. And the
FY over the top.
Epicenter coming in. That turns the fight almost as no one is able to jump away thanks to a great Aphotic Shield. Solo walking his way back. Ramsey's marching forward. He does manage to bring down the Sven, fighting this out. He knows he's taking enough to be able to win this fight for his team, even if the Brewmaster does fall. FY sitting inside of his Sandstorm, but Ramsey's a bit low now as the Medusa comes back in the fight. VP realized that they can't take it against this tanky core, so they will have to give up on the Shadow Shaman as well. Another great back and forth team fight as both teams, the ebb and flow of these engagements. If you just have the Primal Split not going off in time, that fight looks so much different.
Yeah, it was because of the Primal Split that the Dusa wasn't able to pop her ulti to save her Sven in time. I mean, the team fighting of both of these teams is absurd. Just the way that they layer things, they were barely able. The last swing was coming into Pasha as he pops the ulti. No one was able to get out because of the shield from Solo. His team fight positioning was perfect. At the bottom, you'll see the Shaman set up for the fight too. Roger walks all the way around to get the control on Ame to get the kill. Everyone on both sides, I mean, the amount of skill in this, look at him. From the bottom, drops the wards, finds the angle. That's perfect range usage.
That is a beautiful wraparound. I can't believe how low no one got as well there. Just so many things going the way of VP that LGD was not able to eke out. What once again looked like a strong start to a team fight. That's twice now.
I mean, this is what team fights look like when the teams are so evenly matched. And everyone's just fantastic at spellcasting. You're not seeing these like huge errors made on either side because it was the correct thing for the Sven and the Dusa to be there. They thought, well, what we were missing on the Brewmaster last time was that burst. But when you can't hard commit and the Dusa just gets tossed up into the air, it's a game of inches at that point for either side.
9-11, a very close game. As we're approaching the 25-minute marker, only a 2,000
Look at that. This is how even the game
win probability.
This is how even the game, like Dota thinks that this is a 50-50. And for me, it really feels like all of these team fights, against lesser teams, like when we saw the series against Complexity or Mineski, the game is just over with that one fight. But both of them are keeping themselves, like they're giving each other fighting chances. The Dusa doesn't die in that fight. No one doesn't die in that fight. So you're not really seeing any advantage being given one way or another.
Now, it sounded like the way you set this whole entire game up, there's going to be a lot of power spikes back and forth between these two teams. We've got the Eye of Scotty now for the Medusa. That's got to be a big one for LGD.
Yes, because she needs that control. You see that once they lose the Disable, the Spectre just walked away from her.
Yeah.
They were trying to do some cute body block tricks with the Darkseer Abaddon illusion, but you need some way to slow him down as
Asha daring them to go on him, but they actually had a sentry down to be able to reveal the storm. They're going to get him. They pull the vacuum back into Solo as well. In the back lines, Ramses tries to go for one of the squishy supports, but now he just wants to get out of here because VP, they've already lost the fight. Ramses is going to try and dagger on through. Solo giving up his life to try and heal the Spectre as best as possible, but they caught him outside of the trees. And now he dies like that. A double kill for maybe 3 dead on VP. We've had very even fights back and forth, but this one, LGD cleanly win, and it's off the back of being able to see that Storm Spirit with the Invis.
Yeah, it's just that vision that they have. So well done. The fight could have gone the other way, but VP very cocky. Storm's just running around saying like, I'm good. They're not going to be able to get a fight going. Guys, everybody run over. And it was just a complete trap.
I got to see that one again, too, because I see the sentry that's out there. He had to be barely.
Yeah, he was just on the edge of it. And it was just a know-it-all to say, like, we're going to drop a sentry. And it has to have just been for the ward. Because they don't have any smokes. Yeah. That was one of those, like, coincidental things that just...
yeah, you just kind of luck into and it works.
There's no way they knew about the invis, I think.
Yeah, because that's a very common dire ward spot. Because you look for invasions. Yeah, look at that. He's just barely inside of that that sentry area. And they just turned so quickly on him. You know, he was luck, a little bit of luck for sure, finding that opportunity, but they took full advantage of it. They reacted very quickly.
Yeah, and no one has to know, too, that it's just a really common D-ward spot.
Yeah, that's true.
For them to go for. But we'll pay for that hubris with his life, as maybe this is what PSG.LGD needed to break this game open.
Yeah,
and again, you see, like... it's the wall that they formed. In that team fight, all together is 5, at all times. Be together as 5, don't chance anything, run down lanes together.
We said that's the fight that cracks open the game, 7,000 net worth lead, and now PSG.LGD going for Roshan, but it looks like VP, they're not just going to let Sleeping Dogs lie, they are going to try and fight this one out, as they are not willing to give even more of an advantage to LGD. They approach the Roshan pit, and LGD quickly scatters.
Yeah, I'm not sure if their Roshan taking ability, you have to commit God Strength to that.
Yeah, it's so slow. They don't have any minus armor, right? They've got like no medallion on their team or anything like that.
Fresh 10-second BKB picked up by Sven. This is going to be massive for him just to not get tossed up into the air repeatedly.
So when's the next swing the other way? Like you said, VP thinks the Spectre is going to be the best hero in this game. What's the next item that she needs?
They have to. I think they have to feel like she is. I think she needs her level 20 plus. It's always going to be the level 20 plus the like the next item, like Butterfly or Scotty, whatever
that tanky item is. Solo. It instantly pops his borrow behind time, but he actually popped it a little bit too early, so he still receives a full stun duration, which means he's so slow to be getting back to this tier 2. A Hex does go out, now they're going to vacuum him back in, and that 5%
that might be
dead.
They might go for Roshan now.
It's crazy how just, like, if he had instantly dispelled off the stun, he gets a little bit closer to the tier 2. Maybe LGD isn't willing to commit for that kill.
Yeah, and when it comes to teams like this, I think it's always a numbers game. So I think they thought about going for the Roshan, but it looks like they're going to back up, reset the lanes a little bit. And it is the Scotty.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the Scotty or the Butter. It's like one of the two. But he's going to be an item timing behind because he also needs the MKB against the Dusa. Like somebody needs, they either need a Bloodthorn or an MKB to be able to deal with that Dusa.
And that's probably, you think maybe it's going to build into the Bloodthorn? I mean, it's a natural item for you, right?
For no one?
Sorry, no one. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't feel great because I think Deuce has Manta, right?
Yeah. So your Orchid
And Sven
timing
has
feels
BKB.
terrible, but
Oh,
they are going to be able to catch
oh,
Roger.
Roger died.
Very, very dead.
You notice that for VP, the game has changed ever since that top engagement.
Yeah.
It's no longer, let's just ram heads and, you know, we'll use our superior individual skill that bails us out. Because VP, they're so talented mechanically. Like, everybody fights so well that against most teams, they can just kind of bludgeon you with that.
Yeah.
Like, even when they're even, like we saw against Mineski, they eventually will win out. But against this game now, you have to split the map up.
Yeah.
Because they're so evenly matched, they can team fight just as well as you. I think this is a very mirror-esque type of matchup, especially with the drafts that we have. Then now the game is switched for VP. Now it's let's split push, hope that they don't. The way to counter this like 5-man moving wall is just to get more on the map by splitting it up at all times.
Yeah.
Do the alliance style, push out the side lanes, like the cores stand on opposite sides of the map, and eventually we'll catch somebody unawares. That's how you deal with this at this point.
And I feel like they do have the very elusive cores to be able to make that kind of play. I mean, we see the Spectre being pretty far out there a lot of times. They're going to try and go for the 30-minute bounty runes. There is going to be maybe Here's just going to march forward. They do manage to pick up the bounty rune. Spectre is very tanky, though. It's going to take a while to be able to bring him down, especially since they've already used the stun, so they're going to go for solo instead. Pasha is going to walk away. Look at Ame boosting forward just to make sure he grabs the bounty rune.
You think you rush with this God Strength?
They're near the Roshan pit, but doesn't look like it. Maybe with the AC, that'll be a big damage upgrade for Ame as well as the Midas Armor.
I just figured since they use it anyways and it is a 4-on-5,
Yeah.
there was an opportunity to do so.
Even just an opportunity to see if LGD will take a fight.
Yeah, because I think for PSG.LGD, the next objective to win this game is to get that Aegis onto your Dusa and just let her glide along lanes. Then it's suddenly like, well, you have to come at us.
Yeah, it's such a great high ground hitter at that point where killing Dusa once is a bit troublesome. Twice seems impossible.
I think it already feels it feels incredibly difficult at this point anyways.
Yeah.
But at that point, Aegis Dusa, like VP have very, you pop your 2 ults, and if you don't kill her once in that, you definitely lost the fight. And even then, it's a gamble. If you kill her once using the Bruce Split plus the Spectre Haunt.
Yeah. VP is doing a pretty good job here, splitting up the map. They may not be able to get quite as much farm as LGD is when you just kind of own the map and farm anywhere you want. It's a bit difficult to keep up, but they are getting those next round of items soon.
I think this game is much more, it's probably like 70-30 at this point. But 30% is still very good for...
That's pretty on point, Blitz. It's pretty on point. I think that's about 70% right there.
Yeah, I think this game's like 70-30 right now. So VP still have a way to win, and the way that is you just keep tossing the Dusa up into the air repeatedly.
Yeah.
You have to ignore her. The way that good teams fighting around Dusa, and VP's a good team, is ignore her. She doesn't have a BKB. She'll just be tossed up into the air forever. Keep that Spirit Panda alive. Toss her, deal with everybody else, get to the back line, kill FY in the Grimstroke first. The Darkseer alone doesn't deal a lot of damage. He's like an enabler in a way. So it's really just, you kill the Sven at that point. You play Ring Around the Rosie with him.
We did have some damage problems. The Radiance picked up by the Brewmaster will help solve that a bit as we've got that damage over time. Even the missed chance is going to help a lot.
Yeah. I like that Radiance pickup a lot because maybe, he's shown that he isn't going for something like the MKB or the BKB as Solo's going to walk in.
And with the AC, looks like LGD are finally willing to fully commit to taking this Roshan, but VP, they cannot just let this happen. They're going to take away all the mana from Pasha. The jump in from no one trying to go for the back line, but the Glimmer Cape as well as the War Cry. They have the Crimson Guard as well. There's so many ways to make these supports tanky.
Protect your supports. That's what they have to do. And you see no one. He's looking for a weakness.
Spectre's going to pop in. No one trying to go in. They aren't able to pick it up quite yet. The Medusa does manage to snatch it away as VP take the kill. Immediately Shackles goes down. They do toss him up in the air. Ame with his BKB. He is so hard to fight it right now. But that's why Ramsey's going for the back line as best as possible. Can't see FY inside the Sandstorm, so instead going for Chalice right now, helping with the control.
Keep that juice in the air.
Oh no, he gets stuck with the Burrow Strike. Now the Chain Stun as well, but the Unfoddy Shield actually managed to keep him alive.
Keep her in the air.
Walk himself away. Throw that
One more
Medusa
time.
up in the air. Can't able to get it off, and now the Medusa's damage starts coming in with the epicenter as well. Spectre going down to half health. Pasha in trouble as well. Spectre trying to get up into the trees. Is okay for now. He's able to just glide along this cliff area. Goes to the TP out. Actually spotted though. He gets knocked back down as his Spectral Dagger, that buff went away. He gets knocked out of the trees into vision. Stops the TP. 80 seconds on the clock for him. LGD with the big win. Very important that they grab that Aegis too.
And what a buyback from FY, because it looked like it could have gone the other way in VP's direction, but the epicenter over the top just cleans house. And Pasha did such a good job in that fight.
Yeah.
He threw her up in the air 3 different times, and you saw that Ame was also really smart. He's like, I'm gonna all in for this win with this Wind Panda. He's like, I can't allow this to happen.
Yeah.
So he used that entire time finding it. So it was a cat and mouse game where Pasha's like, I'm gonna run it away invis. You don't have vision of it, and it looks really awkward.
Do you think that like the next step for LGD is you gotta have detection? I mean,
Yes.
it's very smart to target that Wind Panda.
You
first.
can allow her to get tossed up once, I think, but she almost got tossed up 3 times in the air. You saw that he was going for it a 3rd time when she popped that Manta, and his timing on his ulti just ran out. But being able to keep her in the air and isolated for that long is so important for them. As I think she does have to build, I mean, she's got to build some sort of item that doesn't allow that to happen, whether it be BKB. I don't think she loves building BKB in this game.
Yeah.
But it can feel good to just consistently be knocked up in the air.
Butterfly, and it looks like deciding to build an MKB next.
Stupendous.
In this position, LGD looking just to run into the high ground because Virtus.pro have already shown it's a bit tough to win these engagements. BKB up for the Storm Spirit though. That can really help when it comes to committing and killing that backline as best as possible. They're going to try and get a bit of harassment damage onto Maybe here. Burn him out, slow down the damage. Now no one makes that jump. Goes to the end, but immediately goes for the back line, trying to finish off FY, but he managed to get the Ghoul Scepter down. Now the Soul Bind is actually locking no one in place, who's still trying to go for that kill. Nova actually does end up falling to his own Spirit there as Ramses tries to head into trees once again. This time he will be successful, but FY managed to juke out no one, blinks himself away. He's going to be good for now. That Storm Panda continuing to throw up the Medusa in the air, but now the Primal Split is dead, and the Sven and Medusa, they don't have a way to be able to deal with them. They just lack the damage, so maybe pushes forward once again, looking to be able to finish off that melee barracks.
And VP, they do have a numbers advantage, and if there's gonna be a chance for them, it's here. The Grimstroke is dead.
They have to kite him around. Very important that the Shadow Shaman stays alive here as they need those disables. Fortunately, Solo is able to help that out. Now the Epicenter coming back in. They're going to try and finish up Pasha here. Pasha does manage to limp away. No one. Oh no, he got stunned, but the Afadi shield goes up just in time. The Bloodstone helping to keep him alive. He's maybe in trouble here, though. He just gets rot down by LGD. Ramsey's trying to limp himself away, but it's looking like this is all over for VP as they are running out of buybacks here. They're running out of ground to retreat to as they head to the fountain, but they're chased all the way to the door of it and they can't make it through. The door is shut down on VP as well as the door on this game 1. PSG.LGD. A great start to this series for them.
Fantastic game 1. Really skilled on